okay, someone's playing around with my phone. I'm having hacking problems. So all the complaints that I've lodged recently are all now exhibited for the courts, for the judge to investigate all of it. So the case we're talking about today is New Zealand Police and IPCA. They're both jointly joined in my case. Okay, so the New Zealand Police case has already been dealt with. So now currently I'm dealing with IPCA case. So if you don't know what that is, it's called Independent Police Conduct Authority. They are the same evidence, and so today I'm going to just give you a quick brief. Okay guys, so the quick update is recently I had a deadline to meet according to the judge's schedule, which is Judge Sussex. They all know that my case is gone global, but I'm going to be talking about my personal experience in the moment, linking to me. That's the reason why I'm denouncing all the public innuendo, the public lie and deception, and telling you guys my in the moment evidence. So we're dealing with motive and intention in my case versus the acts of the allies on the surface. Okay, it is a criminal case. So just recently, counsel Karen Ferris for IPCA, she's not the counsel anymore. So they changed the counsel, and I'm pretty onto it when it comes to the court protocols and the rules and the regulations and the laws. So I do everything according to the laws and versus whatever the opposing allies have submitted to court. So in this case, the Crown, which is the government, for those that don't know, the state, they are the defendants in my case. So I've been having problems where they are definitely trading in influence. I didn't realize this until later on, that they were actually taking everything about me, like treating me like an object to city council, and then they make decisions about me without me knowing or without my consent, and then they're inciting globally. That's why I've had to challenge what they're doing globally or on their videos for my own safety, because that is a serious situation for myself and everybody else within my personal property, or within my space, and to do with my personal property. So on this day here, which is the 28th of July, I got an email from somebody, what was his name? Ronald Manny. Okay, so this guy, he's a scheduler. As you can see, this is his title. So what I have a problem with my case is the mix match, using different people within the government, within the occupation, within the Ministry of Justice, handling my case. Okay, so I'm an exploited person. They've exploited my file historically, so it makes it a conspiracy. So everybody linking to my private life, whether they're alive or dead, they all are part of, my private life. So this is an indirect advance conspiracy. So to undo it and to prove it, have to go back, and that's what I'm dealing with. And obviously those that within internally, they all know my case is very serious, and obviously the opponent don't want to go back. They don't want to dig up what happened in the past. But I'm dealing with my personal property and what they've done, my reputation. They've damaged it, they've deleted it, and they have used me for money laundering while I was working in my occupation. So it's a very serious case. So this is the reason why they've locked me out. They have not given me any case managing. Like, they have not treated me with respect, or my case with respect of privacy. They have, it's a demolition of a human being by corporate bodies. So they're locking me out, and so they've got this like system where individuals are locked out and they go through a lockout situation, and then they get secret agents taking over my case, or I don't know what they're doing, without my consent. I have won every single case, and I swear that on the Bible. So I'm dealing with unlawful strikes, and I'm wanting those judgments to be cancelled and turned over. So I'm updating you and letting everyone knows how the system works. So this guy here, he's a deputy registrar. Why he's texting the parties involved in my case is like, even the fact that he he sent out a text to try and find out about the court date, blah blah blah, but he'd contacted the other party in this case. So and he's a scheduler. This is just evidence of what they're doing secretly. It's wrong what they're doing. Okay, they're cheating. It's quite clear that they're going to do the same tactic with all the other cases. Because they're using the hub desks and the emails and the front counter and people's family members to block. And then they're coding, and they're talking indirectly, coding people with words. Okay, so we're dealing with motive and intent crimes. All right. And so this guy, there's a case officer, but heaps of people have case managed me. I think for this case, there's been about 5 or 7 case officers who's managed this case. And so what they're doing is they're getting one will know all. We deal with the applications, and then we correspond, and then they leave, and then they get a new one, and then they're making me do the same thing. You can just listen on the radio. They, it's a game to them. They think it's funny and it's a joke. So what they're trying to do is exhaust me to give up. In the meantime, my identity is stolen, because that's the other thing I'm trying to deal with, is deal with everything about me legally, because I know that my identity has been stolen in the past, going back to the protected disclosure. And they've also stolen, used me for Unison Dance Crew. It was my idea. They stole my identity, and then they try to make me pay for everything. So it is money laundering. So I know I'm going through the same thing even now still. Okay, so we're dealing with a love triangle. Okay, they're using relationship scams. So I have found that these agencies, the women that they are actually using, are linked to Henry Cavill. Okay, so I'm going to keep me in his relationship in the moment, because I know without a shadow of doubt we are both in the centre of God's will for this new system, new age system. God's just using us to expose everything, how it works. Also, it's been a historical matter, a very serious one. So I have found that these agencies are doing AVL when I go out public. Okay, I have felt so unsafe what people are doing, and I could quite clearly tell by their motive and intent that they're wanting to do exactly the same thing with what they've done with me with the other women in the past, and steal, and with the intent obviously to eliminate me like I never existed on earth. So that's the reason why I'm denouncing everything as things happen. So I'm dealing with body corporate lying, or they're doing their twin and switching different people all the time at the counter. So on the 30th of July this past week, or this week, what's today, Sunday, I went to the High Court, okay, and I have found they know I'm coming, so it's trading in influence. That's pretty bad, really, because they shouldn't know I'm coming, but they knew I was coming. They always do. That's why it's called organised crime. So I get frustrated because they seem to be putting new people in the counter to serve me. That's a criminal tactic by the Crown. They know I'm very experienced. They know they haven't got a case, and they know they've lost. So historically, they've used different people all the time. They're trying to exhaust me to make me give up. But they're not only doing that, they're lying, or they're giving me wrong information. So to update everyone, I've put in an application for a summary judgment of liability, because council's application, he's admitted it. So that is the next step. Why is that the next step? Because I can prove, and I can have sufficient evidence to prove to the judge that the Crown has perverted the course of justice and have actually impeded rescue. Now, I've been really concerned historically how I've been served by the courts, because I know that they've overcharged me, or they've told me things that doesn't align with the laws. Okay, and they're putting inexperienced people so they can blame them. They knew their training. But because there's a consistency of pattern, it doesn't matter. My case will affect the whole Ministry of Justice of courts, because there's definitely, because one, it's unlawful strikes. Two, they're overcharging or giving wrong information to overcharge. Now, the law clearly says that our summary judgment, let me just go find it. Just give me a sec. Okay, it's called to enter a summary judgment of liability. Sorry, because of the early hours, I'm a bit tired, but I know that I've got to update everyone because everyone is watching, and I also want to oppose the state, okay, for their methods. I'm a single female, okay, they've made me suffer. Okay, they have perverted the course of justice. They've made me repeat. They've put me in a very vulnerable situation where people have globally taken advantage of me and trafficked me, and that is why I'm complaining to the police all the time, because they're not doing anything. And I've actually exhibited those complaints so the judge can actually get them investigated, and also evidence my word against theirs, that they're not doing their job, and they're all involved, and they're just going to let a vulnerable person be attacked and trafficked by other people. But they're not only doing that, they're doing indirect psychological mental abuse, and it is now classified, well, historically, a suicidal pact. All right. Okay, so on Wednesday, the 30th of July 2025, I went to the High Court. I know everyone's watching me secretly because, I'm being exiled. They interfere in all my relationship. They're not only interfering, they're stealing, or they're overcharging me, and they're trying to they're interfering in everything so I can't advance financially. And then they're telling lies to the public, gossip, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I have to do what I'm doing. So they are lying about everything, and I have to do this for myself and for my court case and for everyone following me. So on that day, I went to the High Court. I got someone new, obviously. We talked about it, and, how much is this going to be, okay? They know my situation. They like to make out, they've they've drained me mentally, they've drained me spiritually, they've kept me like I can't advance because other people are stealing my intellectual property, and they've ruined my life or my reputation with their unlawful strikes, and it is a conspiracy case involving body corporates where they've bullied me out of my job, and then I've actually took my Ministry of Justice, my employer through the employment process, and I won that case, okay, even though I knew it was a criminal case, okay, but even though I won that, I'm still going to press criminal charges on my employer eventually because it's too serious of a case to let go. So what they've done, and this is why they're doing what they're doing, is because they don't want it to go down to criminal, because I know, it's serious. So on that day, I asked her, well, how much is this application is going to be? Okay, they're always charging. Okay, so, and they've given me, well, she said, about 1,000, blah blah blah. And I usually take the laws with me, and I says, no, it doesn't, cost that much. The law clearly says that there is no cost. Why? Because it's a judgment of liability. It's a judgment to enter a liability because the Crown is criminally responsible for what they did to me, and there is sufficient evidence in documentation. And another thing is, it doesn't even belong in the civil. It's a criminal case. So I did try to get my case moved to the criminal, but they kept sabotaging it. Instead, they all took turns stealing my intellectual property, and then the unlawful strikes has happened. Then they come out and act their rude gestures, letting me know I'm a slave, or, just other abusive things that they do indirectly. They're intimately involved in my relationships. And yes, I'm still with Henry. We're still very close. Everything we're doing is private, but we both know that I'm suffering from those women privately or publicly deceiving the public, because that's their method, they're getting the public to vote. And not only that, the gangs are involved. They're using the gang method too. They're waiting for someone. I'm sorry, but I have to say it as it is. They're waiting for someone to actually murder me. Okay, they've coded me, and I haven't given up because it's my right not to give up. I am definitely the aggrieved victim. That is why, and they know, the government knows I'm the aggrieved victim. But that's serious stuff. Everyone knows, but they're the one, all they care about is money. But I have no intention of giving up, okay, because I don't feel that I should, because this is disgusting what they are doing. So, as it turned out, I went back on the next day, which was the 31st of July, and I got my documents all signed and blah, 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 and they didn't charge me. There is no charge for entering no cost whatsoever, okay, because it's law. All I need to do is prove to the courts that the IPCA has impeded rescue, perverted the course of justice. It also means a full criminal investigation will take place, because it's not even a civil case. But because I worked for the government, I'm not a defendant. Okay, I'm the plaintiff in the matter, but in another word is I'm also the victim. The laws says I'm a victim, so I don't need to play the victim. But in saying that, the legal aid is not available for plaintiffs or victims. They are only really available for the defendants. Okay, so the Crown, I also have a very big problem that the Crown is actually representing defendants. Okay, that's just, but in saying that, the old system, The if the people that knew their job or knew the laws, they would the crown like the judges in my cases should have actually got another crown barrister to take over my case if he felt or she felt I wasn't competent enough to represent myself. But they know I am competent. They know I am intelligent, and I'm not blowing my whistle or anything, but it's all been about pride, and they've actually basically just used me to educate themselves. And I also know that they're secretly stealing my intellectual property. Okay, I'm not a government property. I haven't signed anything to say yes, she's government property, blah blah blah, but I'm contesting it because of how I'm being treated, and what they're doing to me is illegal. Okay, so because of my experience, and they know I'm very good, they know I'm an expert in what I'm doing, and that is why I put in complaints, because that's why we have a complaint system. So then, those according to the law has to has to actually investigate that complaint, so people don't get human trafficked like I have been. Okay, it's been inhumane. The problem I have about it is that they've used me for relationship scams, and these agencies, these women linking to who they want to set Henry up, obviously, or whoever the other men are in the past, and to do with me. It's exactly the same method, same pattern, and it's serious and it's very dangerous. So basically, if the judge is satisfied, okay, if I can satisfy the judge that my case is, it goes, the civil process actually gives the crown or the opponent the opportunity to either settle or gives them an opportunity not to end up with criminal charges, because when you go through the criminal process, they will get fined anyway. They will get fined for every single charge that is laid. Okay, so they lose that. For an example, I've actually got criminal charges I've already laid on the Ministry of Health, and there's like 29 charges. And then there's one charge for City Med. And so they can get fined for every single charge and pay reparation on top of that. So they lose anyway. And not only that, there's a criminal conviction will take place, meaning they will shut down, and they will still go to prison. The CEO and all the members involved. That's how it works. But what they have done to me historically, the Crimes Act of torture. Okay, I mean, I'm not safe anywhere I go, because they have contaminated my private life with people linking to the opposing allies and to the relationship scam. And I'm a single person on my own for a long time, and everyone's just taking advantage. They are abusing me indirectly. The offences they're doing is immediate. You'd classify it as second or third degree immediate. Like a criminal barrister will know what I'm talking about. But it is a suicidal pact, and there is sufficient evidence for offences like conspiracy to commit murder. But it is definitely, from my own personal experience and the pain and suffering they've put me through, it is a suicidal pact. The intimacy is wrong, and it shouldn't be linking globally. I mean, I've been denouncing Natalie Visciso and her fraudulent video clips and her imposter, Henry Cavill, and then them saying that Henry is with a new female. I swear it, guys, he's not. Okay, he is. He's doing okay. And we're just keeping that. He's happy with me to do this. This is my for me to do this for the public because of the court case. And I know other people are trying to find out where he is, but they are personally interfering in our relationship, and are personally have been sabotaging everything. Yes, we are still together. But I'm denouncing everything. If on my Facebook is true. But personally, this relationship has given me suicidal thoughts twice because of the setups. And so, it's all linking through them in my space. The technology, people are moving by the coding. They're coming out of their homes. Everyone's moved by the coding. They're inciting on the radio, tipping up, the Crown, whoever it is doing it, to let everybody know to look out, where I am, what I'm doing, to let them know. That's illegal. That is illegal, and it's global. So that's why I'm denouncing all those relationship scam. I can just watch the news, watch the TV, watch the ads, and I know exactly what they're telling everyone. That is so serious, so dangerous, but I have a reason to believe this has been going on since I lost my privacy going back to 2010, and it explains to me why my environment was hostile and then people was lying or just acting funny. Okay, so I had an issue on Wednesday. Okay, I've been going, I don't want to say too much because I am entitled to do whatever I want. I am entitled to buy whatever I want. I'm entitled to spend my money on whatever I want and how I want it. But the opposing allies are victimizing me in everything I'm doing. And then what they're actually trying to do is create evidence, something to have. This is what they've been doing to me historically. They are counting my money. They are watching my money. And not only that, they're deleting evidence. And they're using their occupation. I had an incident on Wednesday, and then Thursday I had to go back, and I spoke to the manager. And the manager, I said, well, this person sold me this product, and it's the second time they've sold me a product, because I'm just using this as an example. I won't say the name. I did tell them I'm going to put it in writing and give it to the police, because I believe these people is linked to these women or the agency behind it sabotaging me. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. All right. So I won't describe or say what happened, but for these people, but I'm just using the incident as an example, because they are sabotaging my application. They're sabotaging everything I do to take me down. And this is all consistent with the government inciting, but I was horrified when I discovered that's what they were doing, because that's so wrong. That is so wrong. So what happened on that day, I was very upset. I had to go back on Thursday, and the guy I spoke to, and I said, I didn't have the receipt because somebody had taken it out from the place I had hidden it, because I'm entitled to privacy. I don't need to tell or ask somebody permission what I want to spend my money on, or if I can do this and do that. I'm just using this as an example of victimization and criminal alliances invading somebody's private space. Okay, so they're trying to find out where Henry is. They're trying to break us up. They're causing us both grief, but we're doing okay. We're gonna just go with it and just trust each other and God in the moment for this, through all this, because we know we're meant to be doing this. So I'm just using this incident as in the moment a situation. So these people are sabotaging me and trying to find out what I'm doing, intimately linking to what Henry is doing, making both of our lives dangerous, like in danger, because obviously we have both victims where I've been poisoned while I was working for my employer in 2010, and he's been poisoned while he was having an operation. So it's quite clear that, some people want us, either one of us or both of us, dead. So this particular day, I spoke to the guy, and he said his name was Mark. And I said, he said, well, who served you? And I said, well, her name was Beth. Okay. He said, there's no one named Beth here. I says, oh, no. And I was like, he just lied to me. This female, Beth, has served me for months since I've gone into that shop. And this is on Thursday conversation on the 31st of July. And I says, oh, that's not true. But while I was at home, my receipt went missing. These people are spying on me and seeing what I'm doing. They're victimizing me. Okay, so that comes under suicidal pact. I'm already the aggrieved victim for a very long time. So when I get angry and frustrated, it's because I'm reacting to the consistent abuse, the consistent victimization by people, stealing, my things go missing. That is what they're doing. So it is definitely a suicidal pact. So what happened, he said, there's no one here that name. So one, he lied because she served me. How did I know her name? Because she told me. So I described her. Then he goes, oh, does she have a receipt? Or do you have a receipt? Well, as it happens, I went to look for what I was looking for, and somebody had taken it. And they didn't take all the receipt because one of the receipts was laying around, lucky for me. So I sort of put that in my pocket. But I'm just using this. This is what you call personal victimization, and it is a suicidal pact. So I gave him the receipt. Then he goes and he comes back and he goes, oh, we saw the video. She gave you every single, whatever it is that she gave me. And, and then I says, well, I don't know what happened to it because it was short. I just put it in my bag and went straight home. So anything I say on the phone, anything I write in the moment, they are in the moment evidence. Okay. So I'm not the type of person. I don't have a funny, joking sense of humor. Okay. So, everything that I wrote and say in writing is authentic, it's real, and it's me talking about in the moment incidents. I was really upset because it was the second time this same place I lost $70. Okay, it's a product. They tell me what to do. I go and then they block me. Okay, the police have done the same thing. They tell me what to do. They never investigate or they block me. They repeat, and then I listen on the radio and I can tell that they're ridiculing and making fun and laugh and making ads nectarine and letting everyone else know, go and steal. That is what they're doing. And this is consistent with the government. That's why I've been denouncing those videos. I think everybody's woken up to it. and those that are like sensible people who don't play games, like that's serious. Okay, so some of the ads they're doing, they're actually telling people to go and steal, or they're telling people so people are actually moving in your environment. If you are being personally attacked or personally victimized, people are moved by the coding. That's what they're doing. And then they're just texting each other. That's a conspiracy, a very serious one. Okay, so usually on my Facebook page, I just like trying to get everybody to understand where I'm coming from, because we're talking about indirect psychological and mental abuse crimes. Okay, we're talking about psychopathic crimes, people killing people by psychopathic methods. Secret societies are doing it, and then you get their zombie people, secretly sabotaging, breaking the law, stealing to help. Okay, if you've got Netflix, I suggest you go look in this relationship scam. Oh, sorry, in this relationship program. Okay, I just want to explain the relationship scam from my point of view with what they've done to me. Okay, so they've used me for relationship scams secretly. Okay, this movie here on this one here, I kind of recommended it on my Facebook the other day, just for those that are not used to having TV or anything like that, let alone watch the things that I can handle they could never handle. But if you wanna save yourself and your family, I mean, you're obligated to protect your children from these kind of things. And if you don't mix, if you don't get involved, or get yourself familiar with what's going on around the world, these secret societies are secretly stealing, and they are killing innocent civilians. Okay, it's easy to do. Right, but the relationship scam, this movie here that I recommended on my Facebook page, is just to give you an idea of what they're doing to me. And this is why these secret societies are coming out to see whether they, like me or whatever it is. And, I hate that kind of thing. I'm not the type of person to chase men, and I'm not the type of person, I would never, get involved in anything to do with trying to get somebody else to find me a husband or anything like that. I'm just not into that. And the only reason why Henry and I ended up together was because he chased me, and yeah, it just happened. But this is what they're actually doing in this secret society. Okay, this is perfect. Like, I'm the original. Historically, I mean, the old name for these kind of crimes, it's called indictable offences, and then they're switching. So they're actually collecting rich people's personal stuff, and then they're using their family and your family to spy and be an informant. They're using informants a lot. That is illegal. Okay, that person who's been a spy or has decided to betray somebody, you can actually be charged for conspiracy. Okay, because it's illegal. If you're doing that on behalf of somebody else, or somebody's paying you, that's illegal. Okay, if you get caught or find out, or somebody realizes, hey, that person betrayed me, you can get charged easy for criminal charges, for breaches, invading somebody's privacy. It goes both ways. Okay, it doesn't mean secret societies can do whatever they want and they don't get caught and they'll never get caught. It goes both ways. That goes for my government, or for the people in government. It goes both ways. If you have caused something very wrong on somebody else, and you knew about it and you did it anyway, that's wrong. You can still be made accountable, and you're liable. So as far as my case is concerned, we're talking about participation in criminal organized crime. So basically, everybody that I've been a client to historically, going backwards, everything has to be undone, and it can still be proven. What I have found is that these people have, they keep repeating the same offences, just different people every time. Their whole idea is to actually eliminate me. Okay, and the torture and the torment and the hell that they've putting two victims, so they want to keep them down. They want them dead. They want them to either commit suicide or somebody to kill them. Okay, so I've been using me and Henry's situation. We are still together. And yes, I swear to God, I trust him. I believe him. okay? Other people are impostering him. It's a criminal tactic by his haters, and that's what the other agencies who hate him and people who hate me are doing the same thing, okay? That's why I've been denouncing it for my safety, because they come out when I'm by myself, and they have tried to kill him and they have tried to kill me. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But we're dealing with motive and intent. Even though these people are walking around like zombies, they're still breaking the law. Okay, our government has broken every single law involving me. Okay, obviously it's to do with money. I'm not a human being to them. I'm money bags or whatever they want to call it. It's all about money. I don't know. But what they're doing to me is wrong. But it is treason. When it ends up being a global game, they've committed treason. Okay. And then when I go to the courts, and then they know that I'm coming. How do they know I'm coming? I mean, I'm so private. How do they know to set up their people in my space in advance? It's a breach. They've committed treason. They shouldn't be having outside contact. Like, I know when I was working for the government doing court cases and stuff, nobody knew anything what I did while I was working, while I was case managing, while I did anything, because it's a breach. If you link something to somebody outside, it's a breach. You can get into trouble. You can lose your job automatically. If somebody is coding somebody linking to the government, that's a breach. That's 10 years imprisonment. See, right there, it says a breach. Okay, so how do they know when I'm going to be going to the courts? How do they know when I'm going to go to the bank? How do they know I'm going to go to the shop? How do they know? Because they're coding, they're texting each other. That's a breach. That's internal corruption. That's illegal. That shouldn't be happening, and that's participating in organised crimes. And they shouldn't be twinning and switching and using different people. It's quite obviously that their motive and intent is not going to be favourable on me in that case. Okay, so this law also comes in place. Trading and influence. Okay, I've noticed that some of the defendants who've broken laws or have case managed me or have been involved in my cases, or somebody linked to somebody in my family, agencies have actually branded their names. That's the biggest joke. What's the reason for branding? Okay. I know that they've branded Echo's name, and then I know other people, other defendants or other members of other people I know that should be in prison. These agencies are branding their names, or people that's linked to my private life going to church, and that's what they're doing. It's perjury. Okay, they've accepted something to do something. Okay, that's bribery. Okay, that's trading in influence. And when everyone is ganging up on one person, that is serious. Very serious. So that is 7 years imprisonment. So if you're linked to my family, or if you're linked to somebody very close to me or to whatever I'm doing, that is a breach. Okay, and harassment. For those that need, I know I'm doing this not just for me, I'm doing this for everyone else, because, these are kind of things you need to know. Okay? Because otherwise, if you don't know, you're going to end up homeless. The whole idea of what they've done to me is that they not only steal off people, they try and make them homeless, or make them kill themselves. The whole idea is they don't regain financially, so they can get sued and get shut down. Okay, but this is the harassment order. People like, bus drivers are in on it. Okay, even when I catch the train, people are in on it. Even when I drive the car, they're using their cars. They're out there waiting. That is harassment. So they're already glued. And especially if the government, you know, if they're inciting and coding people, of course it's going to happen. But I'm trying to self-defense myself and my property. Okay. So it's actually criminal nuisance when people are doing what they're doing, walking around pretending to be innocent, but they're actually breaking the law. Okay, they're there with the wrong motive, intent. We're talking about motive and intent. Okay, so we're talking also about natural law. So know the difference because it will save your life. So I'm going to leave it at that now. Okay, and I'll update you more. But this is what they're doing to me. Okay, historically, this is what they're doing. And they're AVLing my energy to somebody else. It's very likely their energy's been AVL to somebody else. But they're not just AVLing on the surface. Somebody else is gaining money behind the scene or gaining from my knowledge. Okay? Or my trade secrets of my court cases. Okay? So I'm going to leave it at that, and I will update you guys. I'll do another video clip soon. At the moment, we're just going through the court schedule of the judge, and I'm going to keep my evidence in the moment for the sake of everybody. And obviously, there's got to be new bylaws because this shouldn't be happening to anyone. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay.